turning up for an interview.
Yeah.
All right. Why don't you start?
Mate, look, this is a topic I like because I feel that, you know, we're always recruiting in our industry, in our franchise. We're always recruiting, right? We're always looking for our next champion in sales.
Yep.
Or they don't even have to be a champion; they have to just be a solid salesperson, right?
Yep.
And with the hope to become one. But I'm just seeing a lot of recruits come through the door, and I don't think they put. I don't know if it's the effort, the thought process, they're prepared, but I just see that there's something lacking there, and I can only bring it down to their education on how they should be showing up for it.
Yes.
And that's the only way I can put it. I've been trying to analyse this for ages. A young lady comes in last night to me for an interview. She reached out for the job.
Yeah.
And long story, a great applicant, had been in the travel agency, but what she lacked come out in the interview, but that was fantastic because I know I can work with that. It's just skills, it's just dialogues. It's very easy part, but she's got the engine that she's a salesperson.
Yeah.
I can see it.
Yeah. Okay.
But she came prepared. And she's an older lady. Not when I say older, she's 30. That's not old, but she's got more experience in life. So I'm thinking just the younger people maybe, and some people who may have been in another industry for a long time, they need to know maybe what they should be doing prior to an interview.
Okay. So what do you mean by being prepared?
First and foremost, do your research on what you're going for. So many times in the past I've rang up and rang someone, why is it that you want real estate? I've always liked houses. We all like houses because we all need a roof over the head, right?
Yeah.
When someone says to me, Chris, it's in my blood, my grandfather did it, my father still does it, and he's in commercial, I want to do residential, and real estate will be my career. Now I know this young man's got a bit of a passion. He's got a drive to do real estate. Have a reason why you want to do real estate, first and foremost. So when you're getting that initial phone call from someone, have a reason why you want to do that. Just don't go, I tried lawn keeping, and so now I think I tried real estate. No, this doesn't work that way.
No.
You're setting yourself up to fail. So I think that would be the first thing.
Yep. But I think that being prepared is also know what is it. Put yourself in their shoes.
Oh, I've written that down.
What is it that they want?
Absolutely.
Then prepare yourself. What is it they're going to ask of you? They're obviously going to ask of you about your past. They're going to ask of you about your skill. They're going to find out whether you're the kind of person that needs to be in the racing car.
Know the requirements as well.
Yeah. The requirement of the job.
Certificate of registration. Before you even get a job in real estate, you need a certificate of registration. Department of Fair Trading it dictates this. Us real estate agents don't dictate it. So you need that certificate of registration. So if you've done that already and you've had the initiative to go and get it, walking into a job going, yes, I've already got it, we go, okay, here's someone who's a little bit forward thinking. Before you get to the interview, how about you do a little bit of training on the interview itself? Sit down and have a chat with someone.
Yeah.
Speak to a parent or someone outside who may be able to help you with your interviewing skills, right?
Yeah, that's being prepared.
But prepared can be so many things. Do your research on the business. Know who you're talking to. Know how long they've been in real estate. Because I guarantee you, majority of real estate agents are an open book, and you'll find them on social media. Almost all of them are on social media, and you'll be able to see their own history, their life, their kids, what sort of family they're from, what sort of background they have, their likes, their dislikes. Do your research. Doesn't mean you need to get there and say, I see you drive a such and such and you go golfing every second week. And you don't need to do that. But understand who you're going to go and sit with.
Yeah.
And if you really want a career, understand the business that you want to work for.
Yes.
Do your research into their values and if they align with yours.
Yep. I think be prepared is very easy. If you look at their website, they will tell you how they want you to dress for the interview.
Oh, great point.
Isn't it?
Great point.
If these guys are the people who are taking photos with T-shirt, then you're fine turning up with T-shirts. I'm serious.
Spot on.
But when you look through the team shots and you see that they are all in suits, turn up in a suit. And I think that's part of preparation. You need to look and do a bit of research about who you're visiting. It's funny how sometimes people do so much more when it comes to researching for a holiday. Only last a week or two, and yet for a full career in real estate, they don't want to do it.
Never thought of it that way, but you're very, mate, I'm researching my next holiday as we speak, actually. I mean, not right now, but yes, absolutely. And if this might sound like an absolute obvious statement, but maybe not to a lot of people. The young men of today love scruffy hair. And as Thomas said, if you're looking at the salespeople on their website and everyone's clean shaven with nice tidy haircuts, don't show up looking like a shaggy dog. Mm-hmm. Go and get a trim. Go and have a shave. Be prepared for the interview like you want the job. Because if you're coming up and your eyes are covered because your hair's too long and stuff, you got to think we're entrusting you to help us with our clients.
Yes.
And you are now going to be representing our business. Do we want you representing our business looking like that?
Yeah.
Iron your shirt. It might sound simple. Iron your shirt. Make sure your pants and shirts don't have any stains in them. Ladies and gents, BO, just have some nice perfume on. Don't overpower. Just educate yourself to how an interview should go.
Yeah.
When you do your resume, it's okay to cut and paste one off the internet, but make sure you fill it all out. So many times I've gone through the resume and I see that in this section, put your accomplishments, and they've left it in the resume they've sent through. I've gone, and one of their strengths is attention to detail. Mate,
I think that when you're talking about hair and dress code, what they need to think is, I'm going on a date, on the first date. Do you know, back in my days, that tells you my age, gel in our hair was the thing.
Did you have any?
I probably lost that because of the gel I had. But the amount of times I would rewash my hair because the gel wasn't done properly for that first date. That's the kind of attention I used to do for just that first date. Well, when you're going for a job interview, if you think it's important, treat it like a first date.
Good point, mate.
You probably won't have to have someone telling you, mate, iron your shirt. You do all these things. Then before entering the place, make sure you're on time. Actually, do you know what impresses employers? Be ahead of time.
5 minutes early.
Stay in your car and relax. They don't know you're relaxing. All they think of is, man, this dude is not only on time, he is prepared and he's here ahead of schedule.
Yep.
And you've got a brownie point straight away.
Yep. It's a very good point, and relax. When you say relax, if you're coming into an interview and you're nervous and the person interviewing you asks you if you're nervous, don't lie. Say, yes, I'm nervous.
Yeah.
Because I'll guarantee you they know that you're nervous. And if you're honest with that, they'll go, this kid says it how it is, right? It means we can see you're nervous. And if you tell us you're not nervous, it's basically a lie. I know it's an ego thing and all that sort of stuff, but just speak the truth. It might sound so simple, but it means so much. Be honest with the interviewer.
You're going too fast, man. You're going too fast.
It is true.
I'm talking now still, so you're on time.
Yep.
And as you get out of your car, you need to really think you're on show now. People could be watching you. And I used to do interviews for leaders. And after 3,000 or 4,000 interviews, mate, you start to develop that uncanny eye for the right champion. And it dawned on to me that even the way they said hello to the receptionist and they walked to the sofa and sat across the glass door from me, I could already guess whether it's going to be a champion. Just the way that they sit down and look around the room, look for a book. Every time they have there's always 2 piles of book, a magazine or some books. And I just want to see which one they pick naturally, And these are the things that a champion needs to pay attention to, that when you walk into the door, maybe they haven't seen you, but you're already on show. The interview has started.
Yep. I remember ages ago, your comment to us was, if you've got a receptionist that's been with you for quite some time, once the interview's over, if you didn't see them walk through, ask the receptionist their feel of that person.
I still do it.
There you go. Yeah. There you go. Because sometimes they're not as nice to the receptionist as they are to yourself.
Correct.
Right?
Correct.
And you're getting a better feel for that person. Women's intuition, right? And I'm not saying all receptionists are women, but yes, women's intuition. So you've been in the industry a long time, right?
Yes.
A long time. No, I'm exaggerating.
Before the dinosaurs.
I think you recruited Moses. I want to know we've spoken about this before, so I know you can do it. You can spot a champion almost on the phone. Am I right in saying that from a phone interview? Potentially.
Actually, no, not really a phone. You can spot someone who's got connections, but you can't see all the other skills that are required: discipline, commitment, courage. You can't really.
So when they're at an interview, can you spot a champion almost straight away?
Yes, you can. Absolutely. The problem is sometimes you do buy them, and that's now a topic that we're going to have to cover, which is why is it that some leaders buy people in hope?
Right,
and that's not what we need to be doing.
We can do that later. Okay, but
you can do.
Yeah. You can do. And so my next question to that was: so what is it that you look for? So you're looking for, like you said, courage, connection, all that sort of thing, right?
Two things I look at: smile and inner strength.
Okay.
If they have a smile on their face, Chris, you know you got a good one. Natural smile, I mean by that.
Yep.
If you see people with a fake smile, don't touch them. They are usually people with low self-esteem who are forcing themselves, or people who've got no idea about connecting with others.
Okay.
So you look at that, and then you have to look at their inner strength. And the inner strength comes from now how they say hello to you. If they, as you approach them, if they give you a quick handshake, they stand up, it's firm, and they look at you in the eye when they do that, it's good.
Yeah, okay.
When they're looking away, or they're waiting for you to get to them, and you now have to give them your arm, and they're still sitting down, maybe it's not right.
Yeah.
So you start digging from here. And so as a recruit, you have to know, even saying hello to the employer is important.
So just to recap, right? So some people may have missed what you've just said then, okay? Because you've got, being the potential new employee, you're sitting there, you're waiting for your interviewer. So often that's the director of the business, the owner of the business, to come out. You're waiting for them to come out. And instead of have your head in your phone, be aware of your surroundings. So when that director is walking up to you, you're already standing, you're already approaching them and putting out your hand.
Yes.
Am I right in saying that?
Yes, you show initiative.
Right. And then that handshake has to be, don't be firm like an idiot where you're trying to break someone's hand.
Yep.
Don't be a wet fish. It needs to be a strong, solid connection, and look them in the eye when you shake hands.
That's it.
Right. So, because the way you said it, a lot of people may have missed that, but the importance of it is paramount. Because I judge people like that, and I'll bring it back to the young lady who came through last night. I have a habit of not firm grasping ladies' hands because they're out of respect. But this girl had a good, hot, strong handshake. I said, man, she knows how to shake hands, right?
Yep.
And one of the things that was subconsciously in my head, without actually even realizing it, and when she left, it was the same. So I thought it was fantastic.
Now, some people will ask why inner strength is important. And inner strength in a salesperson helps them with the end game of their presentation. So what you don't want is, you don't want an order taker. So if you go into real estate, or you go into a field where you have to help a client overcome procrastination and help them close themselves, you have to be strong.
Yes.
You have to be able to guide them. So if you don't show, or if you don't have that, and you don't show that in the interview, it is unlikely it's going to happen.
Okay. Good.
But it's a funny thing that when you say, some people, they actually have their head in their phone, and they are totally oblivious of the environment. Sometimes I've seen people waiting for the employer to stand right beside them for 5 seconds before they go, oh, sorry, you're there. I didn't know you're there. That's not good.
Yeah.
You're not showing connection.
So previously, you would give a questionnaire to your applicants, right?
Yeah.
When they come in. Do you still do that?
Yes, we still do that.
Okay.
2 questionnaires.
Okay, so I give them the same 2 pieces of paper, and I use that as questions. It helps us to ask probing questions to get to know the real person, not the real salesperson, but to get to know the real person. Do you find those give us an advantage in getting through maybe sometimes a facade?
Yes, it is. It also helps you dance with them. I mean, the first thing that I like about a questionnaire is their grammar, their writing. That tells me straight away about their ability to read books, their ability to write a text, a response, because they're going to be writing ads, right? So that tells you about that. But that also gives you a lot of information so that you can dance with them. So sometimes I go to question 4, then I jump back to question 6, and I go to the second questionnaire and ask them about their 5 things that they would do most to avoid. And then I go back. And that also tells me whether their response are really reflecting the truth or they're just writing things to make me happy.
Okay. And if you feel that they're, and this is probably more so for the interviewer, these questions, if you feel that they're not being completely honest, if they're giving you the answers that they think you want to hear rather than they want to give, appropriate to the situation, not appropriate to them, do you delve a little bit more and then say, look, I don't think that's truly you. Tell me, I feel that this may be. Do you should delve a little bit harder, deeper?
Yes and no, because these days you just have to respect the person in front of you.
Okay.
But for the person who's going to the interview, you need to not be fake.
Yes,
You have to really commit to being yourself.
Yes.
It is okay to tell the interviewer that is a weakness of mine. But I have no problem working on it.
Yes.
Because the interviewer would rather like that more than having that kind of a doubt in their own mind. I don't know, this person didn't have that. I didn't approach that topic because I didn't think it was adequate to ask them that, but they didn't really approach that. And I have no problem. For example, in my interviews back in my younger days, I'd say to people, listen, I'm very impatient. I want to get there yesterday. And I'm very sorry. It's a big weakness of mine. It means that sometimes my temper gets the better of me. And suddenly someone's smiling back at you. They're saying, this guy's an open book. He's honest. He's telling me. And we all have weaknesses, but he's telling me. He doesn't even try and hide it. And do you know what happens when you do that? They're no longer interested in knowing all your weaknesses because they know you're truthful.
Yep. That's spot on, right?
It's amazing.
I don't need to ask him any questions because he's telling me his worst traits.
Yeah, and I don't need to delve into more weaknesses. He's told me.
Right. I like to throw a question in when I ask these people, ask them 2 questions that I find help me, and it helps me to realise how self-aware they are, because I think self-awareness is something that people don't spend a lot of time on, just realising, thinking about themselves, what they need to improve and so forth. One of them is, if I asked your group of friends one thing that you could be relied on, what would it be? And the speed at which their question comes, you know how much thought they've put into it previously. And then the next one I go, if I asked your mum what you need help with, what would it be?
Wow.
And again, their speed of the question, answer that question helps me to realise a little bit more about them. And then we ask about that and they go, oh, I need to be more organised. All right, let's talk about that. What is it about organisation? Because if they answer quickly, you know it's truthful and they haven't had to generate an appropriate response. And I think that's very good questions that I ask and help me a lot when I'm interviewing someone. Something that I've always thought interviewees should do is ask questions at the interview, because I always give out an opportunity. Have you got any questions?
Yeah.
What's your take on that?
Yes, I think they should. For me, you're not just there to look for a job.
Yes.
You need to analyze 2 things. As an interviewee, you're there to analyze 2 things. 1, you need to analyze the job. 2, you need to analyze the leader. Because the leader represents the culture you're about to walk into.
Yes.
right? And I didn't say you need to have a look at the office or the environment. That means nothing. I've seen people who backstab each other inside the nicest, shiny office. And I've seen the warmest and kindest people working from the back of a shed.
There you go.
Right? So for me, you must ask for a trial day. Because when you go for a trial day, you can analyze the leader and you can analyze the job at hand. Then now you know whether this is the right environment for you and whether you are really equipped for the career in sales or in real estate.
So I'll come back to the trial day in a minute. I'm just on asking questions. Do you think there's inappropriate questions for a recruit to ask?
No, I don't think so.
So do you think asking about salary is okay?
I think it's okay.
Okay. My suggestions, if you're going to ask for questions, I would say do a little bit more research into the business. And I think it's okay to ask the leader, and be nice. Do you mind me asking, what's your vision for your business and for your staff?
Yeah.
I think it's a very appropriate question. What are you looking for in a salesperson? Because they may say, oh, we want this. Oh, okay. Because that leads me to explain a story of where I used to work or whatever, right? So you may have something that will help you in that interview.
Yeah.
Do you offer training, or is that on my own? Ask them about team size. Where will I fit into this structure, and so forth. And make them aware that, say, look, I'm here to fit into your structure, not the other way around. If I'm starting at the bottom, fantastic. If you've got more experience and you're looking for a experienced salesperson role, you want to make sure that the role fits what you're going for.
Yeah, I like it. Okay. But the thing is to be ready for the directions that the interviewer is going to go when you ask a question. So if you ask a question, what is the salary package here? Number one, you haven't made too much research. Well, you haven't done too much researching. But number two is, what if the employee goes, well, I pay the right amount of money for the right person. If you are highly skilled, I'll pay you accordingly. If you are someone who is a Qantas pilot and you have the ability of a natural born salesman, I guess I won't start with you at the bottom, right? But you need to be ready for the employee to say, well, we do pay very well, but what were you looking for? Well, I don't know. I mean, as much as I could. That's a bad answer.
Yeah, right.
So if you're going to ask questions, be ready for the ball to come back.
Yeah.
On your side.
That's a good point, mate. I've never had that.
And you have to be able to dance with that, because me as an interviewer, I will now be looking at your ability to dance.
Yes.
Why? Because I'm going to explore why you're asking the question.
Yeah, okay. All right, so you said offer yourself for a trial day. Can I come in for a trial day?
Yes, but before that, though, one of the biggest mistakes that new recruits, when they go to an interview, that they do is they backstab previous employers.
Yes, I never thought of that, yes.
And you should never do that. I love talking a little bit about why you're here. How the hell did you leave? What happened? And I just want to look at your culture. Because if your culture is to insult the previous leader or even boss, whether they're good or bad, that tells me straight away the line that I have come to embrace many years now, is that in the end, they shall treat you the way they treat their worst enemy. The day you leave me, you're going to do exactly the same thing.
I remember you telling me a story quite a few years ago. You employed a young lady here, and you tried to get her to talk about her previous role, and she would not entertain it. And it wasn't a pleasant separation from a previous employee, but she would not go there.
Yeah.
And she ended up being a very, very good employee for quite a few years, right?
Yep.
So it's a very good indication of good character. Absolutely. So coming to trial day, and we within our franchise, we offer an opportunity day. I think it's a great opportunity for both parts to work out if it's a fit.
Yes.
I liken it to the first date.
Yep.
And you can see you like the environment, the whole feel of the office, the vibe, the camaraderie. I think it's something that a lot of people don't even think about potentially doing, because this is where you're going to spend every day, 5 days a week for the next, hopefully, for your career, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So it's very important to do Opportunity Day. Is there anything that maybe the recruits can be aware of before they go in that can help them to choose if it's the right one? I know you mentioned about the way the leader speaks to them and so forth. Is there other tips that you could potentially give them to be aware of?
Well, I think that you need to really know what it is to be a salesperson and just behave accordingly. That's all. A lot of people are stressed on that day, and they shouldn't be stressed. You're also there just to analyze the other side.
Right.
But you need to know you're also being analyzed. Exactly what you just said.
Right.
And so watch the other salespeople. If they are dressed a certain way, when you turn up for that day, be dressed exactly the way they dressed. And then you are showing the best side of yourself. A lot of people are thinking, oh, well, I'm going to just try it and see whether I like the chores they're giving me. No. This here is an opportunity for both of you to do exactly what you just said, Chris. Are we both a good fit?
Okay.
And I think there is no one line. There is a feel that you're going to get at the end of that day. You know straight away. But that's only if you did the two things we asked, which is analyze the leader and analyze the job, not the team. Don't analyze the office. Do not analyze how they look. Do not analyze the size of the business. Just look at the job. I can or I can't do the job. I will or I will not do the job. And analyze the guy who's got the authority in the business.
Okay.
Because if you have a boss, it's not going to be fun. If you have a nice leader, it's going to be a great journey.
Very nice. I was listening to, funnily enough, one of your other podcasts, and you were interviewing a quite experienced a business owner.
Yep.
And he goes, real estate is not a job. It's not a career. He goes, it's a lifestyle. And I when he said that, for me, it sort of made a lot of sense, and I had never heard it that way. Do you think a lot of people are coming into real estate looking just for a job, or a career?
No. They're looking for a BMW or a Maserati.
Right.
and they're looking for a nice phone and a nice suit.
Right.
And this is why they fail, because they never look behind the nice car, the nice suit. They didn't see the hard work, the sweat, the sacrifices to get there.
Right.
And so if you're coming in for the wrong reason, yes, you're going to leave for those kind of wrong reason as well. I think that we also need to pay attention to how bad the employer wants us. If the employer wants you bad, especially at the interview stage, they probably need you more than you need them. I would run away. I would rather go and work for a business where I go, I will learn a lot from here. I will grow as an individual from here. By working around someone like Chris, I will become not only a wealthy person, but also a better person. Then you've got a very good mix. And hence, you have to really look at how bad they want you. This is why I am very, very wary about people who go to a job for money. Because it's very easy for us to lure someone with a high income.
Right.
Because we know once we burn the other bridges with them, now they just have to do whatever it takes. And most of these employees out there, they know if the guy doesn't do it, if the girl doesn't do it, if the woman doesn't perform, within a month or two, I'll get rid of her.
Yeah.
And you don't want to be in that position. And hence, I always love to go and work where the portion, where the income is unlimited, which is the bonus, the commission, is in my hands.
Yep.
Because I can control that.
Now you're writing your own income.
Yes.
Yeah, that's good stuff. Good stuff. Finally, mate, if we were to summarise what we've just spoken about in 5 quick tips for a new recruit, what What would number one be? Would number one be
I think
prepared?
be prepared is number one.
Okay, be prepared. And in that, it's do your research, guys. There's the website. You can jump on and learn so much. It won't take you long.
Yep.
Number two.
Be ahead of time.
Okay, so time.
Because your selling begins before you even step out of the car.
And being prepared includes practice. Practice the interview.
Yep.
Envision what it might go through. Go through the scripts and the questions that you may get asked. Practice that. What would number three be?
For me, be yourself. Do not come across as a fake because people can see that.
Number four?
Are you asking me? Or what about you, mate? What about you saying one? Because I've got mine here in front of me.
I'd be yourself. Don't be scared to ask questions.
Okay, all right. Don't be scared to ask questions is yours. That's good.
I would encourage people to ask questions. I offer for the recruit to ask questions.